Good morning, church family. This is Pastor Billy with your update and your weekly newsletter. Today's video is going to be a little bit longer than normal, so I hope you'll take time to listen. There are several things that I would like to discuss with you guys that you need to know about coming up. So, first and foremost, this week we have normal activities here on campus. Wednesday night service, Sunday morning, Sunday night, Sunday school. Everything is normal this week. Aside from that, there's a couple of things I want to mention to you. Number one, many of you know that Brian is getting started with us, and a number of people have expressed thoughts about choir practice time and different things. And we've not exactly got all of the details ironed out and know exactly what it's going to look like every single week at this point. But starting this week, he wants to get started. And so Wednesday night at 5:30, he's asking anybody who can to come and be here for a choir practice. Choir, you will meet in what is Bo Bowden's Sunday school room down here at the end of the hall on the office wing. That is where choir practice will be Wednesday night. So 5:30 in that room. We will have our regular Wednesday night service this week, youth activities, children's activities, and things of that nature. And just talking about Wednesday night, one of the things that we're going to talk about this week and discuss, and we've been talking about it for a few weeks now, and sometime over the next week or two, we're going to make a plan. But I would suspect that there are some changes coming to our Wednesday night schedule. I don't know 100% what that looks like, but here's the things that we want to incorporate on Wednesday night. Number one, we do want to incorporate choir practice. Choir is an important ministry in our church. It is an important small group in our church. It should be viewed just as a Sunday school class or anything else. And I know that Brian takes very seriously discipleship and pastoral care for those in that ministry. And when I say choir, I also should be saying our music ministry as a whole, including our instrumentalists, our band, and everybody involved in that. And so Wednesday night, there'll be time for both of those ministries, and the music ministry as a whole, to gather. We're going to continue with our youth and children's activities. We're going to continue with a Wednesday night Bible study, prayer time. We're also going to expand our Wednesday night meal. As many of you know, Shane has been feeding the youth for well over a year now. What started as a small meal for just our youth students grew to a meal for youth and children, which then grew to a meal for youth, children, and various different adults, parents, volunteers, and people who were here later on Wednesday night. And there's been a number of you state that Wednesday nights would be easier for you, and being here would be more desirable if we offered a meal. And so we're going to be figuring that out. Shane has always served that meal at 7:30. We may move that time to 6:30. And make it a little earlier in the night instead of so late. We're going to be working on a menu that we can publish, and we'll be asking everybody who wants to participate in that to give us a soft head count every week via the Sunday morning offering plate. We're probably going to put something in the bulletin every week for you to put a number on and say, me and my family will be here to eat Wednesday night. And so we'll know who to prepare for, and then we will also have a plate or a basket in the back, and we'll ask anybody that's willing to make a donation on Wednesday nights towards that to drop a couple bucks in the plate just to help pay for that meal. In voting for the 2023 budget, the Finance Committee chose to allocate $1,800 of the general fund to food for those meals. And so with all that said, Wednesday nights are going to look different. I'm just not sure exactly how we're going to do that yet. We're going to sit down this week. We're going to look at it. We're going to map it out and try to figure out what would it look like for a young family. What does it look like as far as child care is concerned? What does it look like for our seniors, for our choir members, for our band members, for our volunteers? We're really going to take a wide look at this thing and try to come up with a plan that works best for everybody. And with that said, I know we're not going to make everybody happy, but we do want to be as understanding and thoughtful in this process as we can. So I mention all that just so you'll be prepared, be looking for that information, be listening. If you want to speak to that or give any ideas or opinions, I'm here. Feel free to let me know anything you would like. Second thing that I want to mention to you, a couple of weeks ago we talked about plans for the pastorium. I just kind of want to update you guys on some information that I've gotten back from various people as we just continue that discussion. So on the Sunday in business meeting that I mentioned, that I offered up several scenarios of things that we could do with the pastorium. A number of you have spoken firmly against the idea of renting it. And I say a number, it's probably 15 or so at this point out of 20 or 25 who have voiced an opinion at all. A number have spoken firmly against renting. Most everyone has spoken against selling the property. The theme that seems to come up the most is this: that the house was built and intended for ministers to live in. It was built and intended for this church to use. And so the ideas that are coming up are expanding our staff, finding a children's leader, some kind of bivocational staff position where we could bring somebody on and their pay would be living in the house, so that we didn't incur another salary as far as the budget's concerned. The idea of housing missionaries. I've reached out to our DOM. I've had some conversations with the IMB about housing missionaries, and I have some information on that. That's something we can continue to talk about. Another thing that's been mentioned is using the house for a ministry opportunity. Amy Anderson had a very passionate plea, if you will, or proposal that it become a Mom's Day Out ministry, where we would offer a child care type service for a few hours a day, allowing moms and dads to drop off their kids where we could love on them and feed them and things of that nature. It's also been mentioned that we move the offices over there to create more Sunday school space here on the main floor of the church campus, and that's a good idea too. I know Dan Roper's class has grown quite a bit. Bo Bowden's class has grown quite a bit, and so that's something that's on our radar, is creating new Sunday school classes. Well, you create a new class, you got to have somewhere to put them, and so that's something that's been mentioned. So there's a number of things, and I just wanted to share all that and keep y'all's wheels turning. Continue to get feedback on those ideas. Last thing that's been mentioned, and I had mentioned this a long time ago, was the possibility of housing students from Shorter College in there who are on a ministry path, and helping them through their college here at Shorter by reducing their expenses and giving them an opportunity here at the church to learn and grow as they become men and women who are going to serve local churches. So those are all ideas and just different things I want to share with you. Last thing that I'll mention to you today is been advertising for a while, Bible study called Heaven, on the book called Heaven by Randy Alcorn. We will be beginning that February 19th. We pushed that out a couple of weeks, and quite frankly, we're doing that just so baby boy Braden will have time to get here, and Mama and Daddy get back in the normal routine of things after that. So February 19th is when we're going to begin that. Some of you have already ordered a book. If you're interested in a book, I can tell you where to get those, or I can order one for you. Please see me and let me know. But we'll begin that Bible study February 19th. Easter we have a lot of plans in action for Easter. Just some soft things I want to throw at you real quick. We are having a discussion about a Good Friday service this year. We're having a discussion about having a Passover meal on Saturday, the Seder meal, and Dominic would be helping us with that. Sunday morning, breakfast and sunrise service, and Sunday celebration service in the sanctuary. So y'all listen for plans for Easter as well. Listen, we're busy here. A lot of planning, a lot of talking, a lot of discussion, Brian getting going. I hope that you'll continue to pray for our church, and I hope that you'll continue to care for one another. There's a lot of people in our church who are sick or going through loss or different things right now. And so I encourage you to love on those around you and love your neighbor as yourself. I love you. I hope you have a great week. God bless you. Thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, comments, or thoughts, feel free to share. God bless you. Have a good day.